So what they want is a world government which would dictate all major policies to every country. They want a world central bank that would control the whole of global finance for every country. They want a world currency which would not in the end be physical cash, but electronic money only. And there are fundamental implications for freedom in that. We are hurtling towards the cashless society. Oh, it's a good thing. Yes. If it was done benignly, it might be, but it ain't. It's the outcome and the reason for the outcome we need to focus on, not the actual thing itself necessarily so much. Today, if you go into a shop or whatever, and you hand over electronic money, a credit card, and they say, sorry, the computer won't accept your card, at least you can still say, oh, well, I'll pay cash then. What happens when there is no cash and that computer says, no way, Jose? You have no means of purchase. What does that mean? Total control. That's why it's there. They want a world army. And what I'm saying is all in these books from 15, nearly 20 years ago. A world army that would impose the will of the world government. I had a journalist said to me once, what would they want a world army for? There'd be no one to fight. I said, you're a journalist, aren't you? The people to fight would be any group, any nation that did not want to give over the total control of their lives to the decisions of the world government. And I say in these early books, watch for the development of a European army. This is what Sarkozy is suggesting now, the French leader. And watch for excuses being made for NATO troops to operate outside their official designated area of the North Atlantic. They're now in Afghanistan. And the idea is to fuse all that stuff with the UN peacekeeping force to create by stealth the world army. And they want a microchipped population connected to a global computer, and in the end, every child microchipped at birth as a matter of course. When I first said this 15, 20 years ago, people thought it was hilarious. Anyone who looks at what's happening in the world now has got the grin, as my mother used to say, on the other side of their face, because microchips are now being introduced and are being all the time encouraged for us to take them as a way of operating. They bring it in, first of all, through, microchip Fido, you'll never lose your dog again. And then microchip your child, you never lose your child again. Microchip yourself, you'll never lose yourself again. There you go. Under this, they want 4 superstates. The first one is the European Union, which is the most advanced, came out of the EEC, the Common Market, a free trade area, nothing to worry about. The American Union, which they are manipulating out of a free trade area called NAFTA, North American Free Trade Association. And the first step of that, and it's so close to becoming public, is something called the North American Union, Canada, Mexico and the United States, and they even have a name for the currency to replace the dollar. It's called the Amero. They want a Asia-Pacific Union, which they're now talking about, being evolved out of another free trade area. If it works, why change it? Called APEC, Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation. And we already now have an ever more active African Union, which came out of the Organization of African Unity. That's what they want. And where are we? Down here. Try getting power over your life sitting under that edifice of bureaucratic control. ID cards, stepping stone. This is what they want. Microchipped people. I was, by the way, I said on the internet I was going to talk for an hour and a half. I ain't. I hope that's all right with you. Anyway, I was approached by a third party in about 97 to meet a CIA scientist who was an expert in magnetics, and I met him in his home. And he said he wanted to meet me because he wanted to get out what was going on, and he had no way of doing that for reasons that will become clear. He said that he joined the CIA to serve his country. Because of the way these organizations are compartmentalized, as I'll come to, most people in these organizations are not trying to follow this agenda at all. They're victims of it. So he told me many, many things. What had happened is he joined the CIA thinking he was serving his country, and when he got on the inside in these secret scientific projects which produce technology far and away beyond anything we see in the public arena, he realized that this agenda that I'm talking about today was happening, which he never had a clue about when he joined the CIA. And he resisted and refused to work with them. He said one day he left home, and he has missing time, remembers nothing until he woke up on a medical type bench in a room, and as he got his faculties back, he found there was something stuck to his chest. And he was opening his shirt as he told me this story, and on his chest was a see-through, that's all I can describe it as, a see-through shampoo sachet type thing, and inside was this orangey golden liquid. These are known within the CIA as patches. Someone's been patched. And what had happened in that missing time period is that his body had been manipulated to need the drug in the patch to survive, and if he doesn't get it, he starts to die of agonizing death. He knows that's true because he resisted after he was patched, and he found out they weren't kidding.